You were talking about teams peaking at the right time, getting to the right time. Schedule a favor for Auburn here because you get Missouri, who's now amazingly 0-17.
Yeah, that's hard to do. And if they lose coming up this weekend at LSU, which are going to be underdogs, it'll be the first time they've gone winless in conference since they played in the Missouri Valley back in 1907, 1908.
In the Mo Valley.
Yeah, and they were only like 0-6 back then.
So a possibility of going 0-18. And I'll say this before we talk about what Auburn did last night.
That's so hard to do.
It is, and especially when you got Vanderbilt in the league who's in the 200s.
Do you know the last power conference team to go defeated in a season?
In a power conference. Yeah. Does this count the Big East?
Yes.
Georgetown.
It was Georgetown. Very good.
Yeah, that was a lucky guess on my part. Just how bad Georgetown had fallen off. But when they joined the league, and we've said this several times on our show, but it's worth bringing up now, I thought they would be a basketball school, and their football team's about to start preseason top 15 likely in the AP poll and have been to 2 SEC football championships, and their basketball team's about to go 0-17.
Yeah, I thought their basketball program would be where Auburn is. Look, and a head coach like Bruce Pearl can be the difference in something like that, but I thought Missouri would be a consensus top 25, Sweet 16-like program in this league, and it just hasn't happened.
I don't remember Norm Stewart. That's his name.
Yeah, he was very good.
Names on the court. I don't really remember him. I'm sure I watched some of his games because I'm old. But who was the slick-haired guy ended up coaching?
Quinn Snyder.
Quinn Snyder. That was the Missouri I remember. Those were fun teams. For Missouri.
Yeah, but I think if I'm right, Norm Stewart might have gotten to one Final Four in like 1980.
Yeah,
I think Quinn Snyder, his height before all of the the NCAA controversy went down, I think was an Elite Eight.
Seemed like I thought he was in the Elite Eight a couple of times. He seemed like he was one of those young coaches back when I first noticed Missouri basketball, but they're far from that. And they announced an attendance of 10,000 last night. If there were 10,000 people in that place last night, they all were sitting behind the TV cameras. A lot of Auburn fans there in the area to see Auburn get 17 from Janai in what was a close game early on. But Auburn is they're hitting their threes. They had 34% again last night. They only took 23, 8 of 23 for them. But they just have a little swagger about them. And listen, they are not likely going to share in the SEC title, but more on the possibility of that happening here. But they are a team that I think, because of Janai Broome and their depth, now 10, not 11 deep, that can be a dangerous team in the SEC and the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, look, I agree. I mean, if they beat Georgia, which they should in Neville on Saturday, they're going to close the regular season, winning 4 of 5. And this is a team, as you mentioned, if they're just hitting 35% of their threes because of what they can do inside with now a healthy Jalen Williams and obviously Janai Broome coming off a game-high 17 last night, this Auburn team, I put them right there with Kentucky as far as a dangerous team that, if you looked up and they were in the Final Four in Phoenix, you wouldn't be shocked.
Final Four is a big step, but they have the kind of thing that can do that.
Yeah, I think this team is as good as the team that went to the Final Four in, 18, 19?
Yeah, we get to this now pretty early in the show. This is post-game last night, a little WWE from the Auburn folks. Worth a standalone segment probably, all thrown in together in the conversation about the game. A loose bunch of Janai and KD. Is that Jalen Williams? Is that the guy who gets pinned there, Forrester? Is that the guy who gets thrown down?
I think I would.
Or no? Or is that? Yeah,
I'm not sure who's on the.
If I'm Jalen, I would avoid unnecessary contact right now.
Yeah, KD leading the coming back right there. Oh, it's Chris Moore. Chris Moore, who's playing the one that ends up getting beat there at the end. But a lot of talent flying around that locker room. They're a loose bunch, and if you let them play loose and not force them to be tight, that's how dangerous they end up being. And it was a game last night for a little bit. At halftime, it's only 44-39, but then very quickly Auburn buried them in the second half, and that allows them to stay loose. And when they're loose, they're dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, look, right now, this Auburn team, I think, is clicking at the right time. 5 players in double figures last night. They dominate on the glass. They shoot 53%. And they did what they needed to do against Missouri. Don't let this team hang around, which they were hanging around at halftime. They were only down 5, and then Auburn came out, they flexed, and they end up destroying this team.
Yeah, here's Bruce Pearl on with Andy Burcham Auburn Radio Network, the Auburn Network postgame courtside in Como last night.
It was a 5-point game at halftime. What was said at halftime in the locker room, Coach?
Well, I actually thought that we settled, and it looked like everybody had the green light. Like everybody had the green light, and we took the first open shot that we got. I didn't think we really did a very good job of finding each other and making the extra pass, and that was something that we talked about. I also thought that we did a better job with our physicality. Only gave them 7 second chance points. We really hurt them on the offensive boards, and I thought we did a better job on a fast break in the second half. Ran the floor. When you have Jalen's got 17, Jania's got 15, Chad's got 15, Aiden has got 9, Denver 10, and Chaney 10, and Dylan Carwell 12. I mean, it's literally almost 7 guys in double figures, and that's just really good. That balance is really good.
Yeah, really good balance last night for Auburn. They get Georgia at home. Little T will be down there for that game to wrap up the home season for the Georgia Bulldogs and get ready for the trip up to Nashville next week.